All right, Shalom. Kahala Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakaha Kradash. Shalom and salutations and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. I continue to learn this 100% truth from Yahweh Yahweh Shai Barakatham, the water for your sacrifices and your lessons. Shalom also to the elder bishops out of Connecticut and the elders and the prophets, the teachers and evangelists also of Great Millstone, who I continue to learn this 100% truth from and study. Again, Yahweh Shabbat Rakatham, throw out for your sacrifices and your lessons. And shalom to the speckled bird, the confused space, the Akim and Akwaf, the Akim on the highways and byways, and last but not least, the elect. And I'm back again with another video. Pray that you be edified with it. And this, you see the heading, it says, Professor Marandi explains what would happen if Trump dropped a nuke on Iran. So this is just the wars and rumors of wars that's going on, but things are ramping up, which, ultimately we're happy about, man. We want to get out of here. You know what I'm saying? And I probably studied a little bit, but I mean that with all truth and sincerity and with confidence. I'm ready to get out of here. You know what I'm saying? If you understand the scriptures, you understand that there's nothing here, regardless of what you may think and feel. It's an illusion. It's an enchantment. There's nothing here but death here, and fire, and destruction, and chaos. That's what's here in Babylon. So, I just got 2 videos that I'm gonna bring out, and bring out some scriptures with that. So let's check it out.
And just, I know you're about out of time here. Last question. In the event that does happen, that President Trump doesn't listen to anybody, he does launch some sort of a big attack against the energy infrastructure, and Iran does what you suggested they're going to, and just starts methodically taking down all of this, and it has the impact you had, then there will come one of the things that I feared the most from the beginning here, is that faced with a disaster, President Trump may then resort to one more escalation of a nuclear weapon to try and bring Iran to the heel, just like they did with Japan in 1945. What would happen in that case? Because literally, Tehran could be vaporized. Is there any concern about that on the Iranian side?
Well, it just shows how sinister the regime in Washington is. It just shows how sinister Zionism is. It just shows the world what the reality of Zionism is. That is what you're talking about, the essence of Zionism, something that no one would even contemplate. No one like you or me would contemplate hurting a child. Yet for Netanyahu, for the Zionists, for Trump, and for the Israeli firsters in the White House and in Washington, massacring and sending people back to the Stone Age is normal. That's why the New York Times doesn't react to any of this language, because that's normal for them. Because they see the rest of the world like the Zionists do. Like, we're all Amalek. And for me, you probably heard, I have a bounty on my head right now. I'd prefer to die standing than to die on my knees. And those people on the streets, when the United States and the Israelis fire missiles at these rallies, I publish footage of them.
This is a scripture right here. This is Ezekiel 35:6, and it reads, Therefore I have lived, saith Yahweh thy power. I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sith thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. So we know that these devils are bloodthirsty, starting with Amalek. This is what they have done. They have spread hell, death, wickedness, democracy, all these things on the world, not just Israel, but on the entire world, And their time is coming to an end.
People can go back a few weeks ago. There was a famous rally where a young woman was talking about why people are steadfast, why they're chanting God is great, and then that's when they fired a missile. And the crowd did exactly what she said. They didn't run. They didn't stampede. And she continued speaking. You would think that this would be the top news story across the Western world. And this young PhD student at the University of Tehran, she would be invited on all the Western media channels. But she was nowhere because the Western media censored her, because they do not want to show all these young Iranian women and young men on the streets unfazed, unwilling to stampede and run away, because then it becomes clear that this woman doesn't need liberating. This woman is the one who can liberate those who are under the spell of the Zionist lobby and the Israeli regime.
And just, I know you're about out of
All right, so let me get the next video.
There's a civil war going on, okay? And I would say there are 3 ways to conceive of the civil war, okay? The first way is just to see it as a struggle between the left and the right, which is how most people understand what's going on in America, right? You've got this left and right divide. But if you go deeper, it becomes one of globalists versus nationalists, right? So globalists are people who believe that the rules-based international order, the Transatlantic Alliance, NATO, United Nations, EU, are all worth preserving because they allow for elites around the world to congregate and to negotiate peaceful settlements. But if you're a nationalist, what you say to that is, no, that's not true. What this global system allows the elite to do is steal money from the nation and funnel it to themselves. So the globalists are parasites, right? So you have all this corruption around the world. Why? Because the elite can take all this ill-gotten wealth and move it to Hong Kong, move it to Dubai, move it to New York, move it to London. That's the root of all evil. If people are not allowed to move money around, then they're stuck taking care of their own people. They're stuck rejuvenating their own nation. They're forced to make their own home a better place because they have to live in it. But with transnationalism, with globalism, well, I can screw up my African country as much as I want because I'll be able to move my money, my children, all my assets to London or Dubai. And so there's this huge conflict going on between the globalists and the nationalists. Okay?
He's talking about, what he's trying to say is that the economy, the economic structure of Russia, the United States and Europe is going to crash, and the people are not going to have anything to earn or fall back on. Food is going to go up, gas is going up, and everything is going to be very difficult for you to live. And just in the midst of that, he doesn't say it like that, but just in the midst of that, they're going to present that MOTB for those, who are going through hard times to take it. And then after a certain amount of some small time, they're going to make it mandatory. They don't care what you living with or dealing with or how you making it. You're going to have it in order to survive in this new society that they're creating, which is the NWO.
And then if you go deeper, it's also conflict between finance versus the tech sector, okay, Silicon Valley. Because finance wants to maintain money as a god, and the tech sector wants to promote AI as the god. Okay? So this is a way I think you can frame all the conflict in the world. And once we have this framing, we can actually see how things will progress. Where the tech sector is trying to replace finance, but finance is like, screw you. I've been in power for like hundreds of years. I'm not gonna go away peacefully. So what's gonna happen is something called a rupture, where nation states divide. Okay? Because this conflict is gonna happen within nation states, not across nation states. And whichever nation is able to emerge out of this series of civil wars intact will
Isaiah 19:2, and it reads, I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fall, Salaki, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. That's civil war right there.
Will prosper, okay? So 2030, we will see nations at civil war. America's going to be at civil war because Donald Trump represents the nationalists, MAGA, right? He represents Silicon Valley, the tech people, and he's going to try to implement their vision. But the financial people are not going to go away quietly in the night. Would you? Right? You're going to fight to the end. Right. And so you have this massive civil war break out in America. But not just America, Europe as well. Think of
This is Matthew 24:7. Nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. Because that's exactly what is building up, and everyone is going to hate America because of the moves that America is making. It's pretty much singling itself out from everybody else to be destroyed through the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because that's what happens. What happens is prophecy is taking place. That's ultimately is happening. Prophecy is happening. 2 Esdras 15:19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. And this is what Professor J is speaking about, but not speaking about, because he doesn't understand, or he doesn't know that he's speaking prophecy, or whether he do know, he doesn't realize to the point of that he's Yahweh Shem Yahushua is using him to get out certain things, and it's good for edification that we use as well.
about why Donald Trump hates Europe so much. Because he sees Europe as a source of transnational capital. Right? So civil war is going to break out in Europe as well. So what's happening is that the EU, Brussels, is completely controlled by transnational capital. But who is Donald Trump promoting in Europe? He's promoting Poland, Hungary, Austria. He's promoting like these nationalist parties in Germany, AFD, Vox in Spain, Marine Le Pen's party in France. That's where the civil war is going to be. So the grand irony of all this is that Putin and Trump are aligned. They want to move the world towards a more nationalistic, and the globalists are the ones fighting back. Right. So it's not a war between America and Russia. It's a war between the globalists in America who are aligned with the globalists in Europe, the globalists in China, the globalists in Russia, versus the nationalists in these countries. This is
all right. This is Matthew 12:25. Every nation divided against itself is brought to desolation, and this is what's good. This is what he's saying. It's going to be destruction and desolation to these countries, because of the civil war and the disagreement that they have with one another, with the globalists and the nationalists. All right, because the globalists are what? The elites, and the elites are the ones who are telling certain so-called nationalists who are in leadership roles, like Trump is, to do this and do that. That's because the Most High got the elect in a trick bag, and he's allowing Satan to give them this information to do certain things and to carry out with certain plans. And they go to their minions and they tell their minions what to do, and then the people the citizens, you would say, are looking at the leaders like, what the hell are you doing? Why are you doing this? I don't understand it, and they're not supposed to. They won't understand it until it's too late. After destruction has been handed out. This is 2 Esdras 15:14, and it reads, Second Esdras 15:14. And it reads, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword in their destruction draweth nigh. That's right, we're closer than we've ever been, closer than close. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, They shall not regard their kings nor princes. In the course of their actions shall be their power. So the time is coming. We're closer than we ever have been. And you got to thank the Lord for that. Because prophecy is happening. And these devils got to go. Zechariah 14 and 13. Because there's chaos. There's confusion happening for chaos to happen. Zechariah 14 and 13. Salaki, got it confused. Okay, and it reads, and it shall come to pass in that day that a great tumult from Yahweh shall be among them, and they shall lay hold every one on the hand of his neighbor, and his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor. So that's civil war, that's chaos and confusion, that's destruction, that's anarchy, you know what I'm saying? That's what's going on out here. This is Habakkuk 2 and 5. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. And now Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to take all that away. They're going to have to give it all back. You know what I'm saying? It's like that. You know what I'm saying? Riches don't deplete and disappear. They transfer from one kingdom to the next. Whoever's in rulership, they invade the country they invade the top country, the top civilization, and when they conquer, if they are to conquer them, they take everything. They make their citizens slaves. They take their women as wives, as concubines, and then they take their gold and silver and their riches and everything else that they own and possess, and they merge them. A lot of times, they merge them into their kingdom, and they become tributors to the new kingdom, and that's what happens, you know. Hosea 8 and 4. They have set up kings, but not by me. They have made princes, and I knew it not. Of their silver and of their gold have they made them idols. They have that they may be cut off. Exactly what Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to do. He's going to cut off the wicked of Esau. He's going to cut off the wicked of Israel as well. You know what I'm saying? He's going to separate the tares from the wheat, the lambs from the goats. And then he's going to pass out destruction to the ones who are in his crosshairs of anger. Okay? That's just what he's going to do. There's no way getting around it. 1 Maccabees 8 and 16. And that they committed their government to one man every year, who ruled over their countries. Who's that? That's the democracy of Babylon, following who? Rome. That's why Rome is all over. Rome's reborn here all over. Rome is here on the earth again. And that all were disobedient to that one, and Salaki, I said disobedient, and that all were obedient to that one, and that there was neither envy nor emulation among them. But we know that's a lie, especially with the Romans back in the ancient time. Them was gutting each other out. You know what I'm saying? Or they was getting the Praetorian Guard to knock off the emperor at the time. So we know that Edom bloodthirsty, man, and Edom will kill for power. Anyone and anybody, young or old, he don't give a damn. You could be a fetus. And if it's meant for you to have to go because Esau can rule, he will do it, man. That devil is crazy. First Maccabees 1:41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to them, Salakia, wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. And this is what Babylon has shown and wanted from us from the beginning. And that who the world calls JC, he loves us, and the Most High loves everybody, and all you gotta do is call on his name, and all those things are contrary to what the scriptures say. You know? So I would like to you edify with that quick lesson, and keep pushing, man. We almost up out of here. Shalom.